the rowing home that launched a repudiation of pre-war Hitler. Imposing outside, cavernous inside, yet somehow out of sight. That's the ASUW Shell House. Tucked behind tall trees near Husky Stadium at the end of a secluded hairpin lane, it anchors a bucolic scene that faces Lake Washington's shore. Bordering State Route 520, pell-mell traffic, and frequent construction near the intersection of Montlake and Pacific, the Shell House is mainly hidden. The most likely way to notice it has been from the water. That is changing, given the publishing phenomenon of The Boys in the Boat. Since Daniel James Brown's best-selling book burst on the national scene in 2013, the now 102-year-old barn-shaped structure, named for the University of Washington student government, has garnered acclaim for having launched a breathtakingly implausible feat. From this ex-World War I naval seaplane hangar, an unassuming 9-member UW men's crew from then backwoods Seattle, trained in 1936 on Montlake Cut, won a berth in the Summer Olympics in Berlin, overcame illness and intimidation, and snared a gold medal, embarrassing an overconfident Adolf Hitler and uplifting a depression-saddled pre-war America. In an era when speedy synchronized rowers roused wide fascination, this true-life David and Goliath story became a race against the concept of a master race, providing potent symbolism for the ages. Today, the Shell House is redolent, with a legacy as intense as the swelter of its famous boys. They're all gone, but the senses of their descendants swell as they enter this local and national landmark. Jeff Day, son of oarsman Chuck Day, in position number 2 on the 1936 team, gets wide-eyed as he surveys the rafters. I imagine these guys yelling and shouting and carrying the boats out with all the energy that they had. This building was hearing all of that energy. This is the building. Likewise, the Shell House makes the hair on Judy Willman's neck stand on end. For her father, Joe Rance, number 7 in 1936, this was a home, a place to come to, a place he could be, a place to be safe, and a place where he could trust again. Abandoned as a child in Sequim, her father found crew at the UW and got the trust back. UW rowers now toil from newer headquarters to the north, so the Shell House is largely empty. But the university, represented by buoyant Nicole Klein, is mounting a drive to preserve and restore it as an inspiring waterfront venue to last, as the slogan goes, the next 100 years. The campaign at asuwshellhouse.uw.edu is $2 million toward its $13 million goal. Because of the descendants' passion, not to mention Seattle's affection for all things connected to the water, the Shell House soon may, so to speak, come out of its shell. In our then photo, posing in front of the Shell House doors, are the boys in the boat. From left, Don Hume, Joe Rance, George Shorty Hunt, Jim Stub McMillan, John White, Gordy Adam, Chuck Day, and Roger Morris, with coxswain Bobby Mock. This image may become more iconic if, as forecast by MGM, a Hollywood film directed by George Clooney commemorates the boys' story. Today, descendants of the boys in the boat and of famed shellmaker George Pocock, coach Al Ulbrichson, and athletic director Ray Ekman pose outside the ASUW Shell House. See now and then at seattletimes.com for the names and relationships of all. The ramp from the Shell House to the east mouth of Montlake Cut extends only a handful of yards, so, with the hardiness of an oarsman, Gene Sherrard shed his socks and shoes, rolled his pants to his knees, and waded into near freezing water to secure this wide shot depicting the full girth of the building.